All right, y'all, it's about to get real. This is a combo recipe between me and ChatGPT. That's right, me and an AI collaborated to make this recipe. So essentially, it's a raw chocolate hazelnut brownie, but we're using sprouted walnuts instead because I didn't have hazelnuts. And of course, walnuts are amazing with brownies. We've got some cacao, we've got coconut flour, coconut nectar, and some vanilla extract. So I just started using ChatGPT, which I was really not going to do, but there was just so much talk about it. I was like, you know what, let me try. So I've just immersed myself in it, and there's some just really great aspects. And I thought, you know what, let me get ChatGPT to come up with some recipes that I might have to tweak with super simple, simple ingredients, not too many, that you can do without a Vitamix in a food processor or in a personal blender, and let's see how they taste. So this is the first one in the ChatGPT series. So I went ahead and ground these up pretty fine, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add the coconut flour, which you barely saw, the cacao, and the coconut oil. Boom. Coconut oil from Honduras, from wild beach coconuts, a little sea salt, and the vanilla extract. We're going to blend it up and we're going to see what the texture is like. So I specifically asked ChatGPT to make something like paleo, keto friendly, and not with dates or dried fruit. And so this is what I came up with. And it did say yacon syrup, which I have, but I have a very small amount, and it is raw as well. But so I am substituting for the coconut nectar. I've actually made one other ChatGPT recipe, but it was for a skin cream. It didn't turn out good, but I think because the aloe that I had was not the right aloe. It didn't have like any thickeners or preservatives, so it like looked really good at first, and then it just sort of turned into liquid. Anyways, I'm curious, what do you guys think about ChatGPT? Have you used it? What are your thoughts? Okay, so I'm gonna blend this up, and it says to blend until there's like a dough consistency. I wanted to spare you the noise. At first it was sort of like a mousse, and I was like, ooh, I don't know. And then shortly thereafter, it started to thicken up and rock. Here it goes. I think that's pretty dough-like. What do you think? Okay, so I'm gonna take it out, and then I've got my dehydrator tray, which it's barely gonna fill, with some parchment, and I'm gonna throw it on there, and then it has to go into the fridge for an hour. All right, let's see what it looks like. And by the way, I am also making a super simple pad thai, also a collab between me and ChatGPT, coming up next. I'm doing this first because this has to live in the fridge for an hour. Okay, so I'm seeing that there's just some coconut oil in there. And I just got this magic bullet since I moved back to the Tampa Bay, Florida area 2 months ago. So I think I've had this for maybe a month and a half or so. It's pretty good so far, but I actually just got another new device that I'm going to be experimenting with that I think is going to be really, really good, because let me show this to you first. Here's what it looks like. It's like a blob. I could eat it like this, but it's too oily right now. So I got another device because in search of devices that are strong, like I tried to make this little mini cheesecake without my Vitamix, and it was totally not working. So I was like, you know what? I would love to be able to have recipes for people who don't own a Vitamix, who don't want to own a Vitamix, who, whatever reason, don't have a Vitamix, but they do have maybe a little food processor or a personal blender, and then they can make, raw vegan living food recipes simply. So I was on a search for that, and I found something that is pretty high powered that can make pâtés, nut butters, the whole thing, smoothies, ice cream. So we're gonna see. We are gonna see, and it's not super expensive. So we'll do a video putting that to the test. Okay, so essentially, you didn't see anything that I did, but it's super oily, and I'm wondering, oh I guess I don't really need to cut into it now. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that into the fridge for an hour, and then I'm going to make the pad thai, and then I'll come back and I'll do a tasting with both of them. Fun.